and welcome to the Student Support Services Workshop on Nutrition. This is a part of our parent education program that we do every year. This is the second of the 3 workshops that we usually put on for the general population of St. Martin, entitled our Nutrition Workshop. We put on a workshop earlier this year, which was based on peer pressure, and we have another one in November, which is going to be based on gang violence within the St. Martin community. So, with that said, please help me give a warm and nutritious welcome to our very own Miss Swinda Richardson, who will be introducing herself.
Good evening, everyone. As our MC said, my name is Swinda Richardson. I work at the Ministry of Public Health Collective Prevention Services, and we are located in the Vineyard Building to the head of town. My tasks and responsibilities there expand beyond being a nutritionist in the department. However, being that it's my profession, I love what I do, so that's why I'm here tonight. And I will be speaking on nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I know the workshop has been promoted as a workshop for parents, and for me, I always believe that I'm not going to be very specific in terms of presenting how parents should do this and how parents should do that with their children. My belief is that if you want to learn about healthy eating and nutrition, then you have to start with the basics of healthy nutrition habits. Okay, and from there you'll be able to build and tailor to your lifestyle with the knowledge you've gained. Okay, so with this workshop this evening, I'm going to cover areas such as healthy living, healthy eating, benefits of healthy eating, the food guide pyramid, portion plates, snacks and beverages, nutrition facts labels, and healthy eating on a budget. What is healthy eating? What is a healthy lifestyle? Can anybody tell me from their own perspective what is healthy eating and what is a healthy lifestyle? What does that mean to them? Why do you think it's important to eat healthy? Go ahead. Okay, you want to make sure you get the right amount of nutrients in your body? What else? Anybody? Why do you think it's important to eat healthy? So you don't get sick? What else? To live a longer life. Anybody else? Okay, so those are some very good points. We eat healthy because we want the right nutrients in our body. We don't want to get sick too often. We want to live a longer life. We want to reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, heart diseases. So those are some good reasons why it's important for us to eat healthy. And we want to be able to have a lifestyle that we can enjoy. A way of living that lowers the risk of seriously being ill. Healthy living is a way of life that helps you enjoy more aspects of your life. And healthy living, a way of living that helps you and your whole family. Okay, so it's not just about you. How you live your life also affects or impacts the persons that are around you, your family. If you're ill, they will be sad because of your illness. They will have to be able to support you or take care of you. So you also not just changing what happens to your life when you become ill, it also affects the loved ones that are around you. We also eat healthy for good nutrition. We eat healthy because we need to eat in moderation. We don't just eat the same things all the time or overeat certain things just because we like it. And we eat a variety. And when we talk about a variety, we do so because we want to get the proper nutrients from each food item. Not every food item can give you the same things all the time. So we eat in a variety. We eat a variety when it comes to our fruits and vegetables, because the more colorful your fruits and vegetables are, the more nutrients you're getting from them. We have our vitamins, minerals. You've heard of antioxidants. You've heard of phytochemicals. All of those are components that you can find in your fruits and vegetables that would help give you the nutrients your body needs in order for it to function properly, and also to help build your immune system that can help you fight off diseases. We're on the fourth slide, or the fifth slide, and it mentions here the benefits of healthy eating. Now, we've mentioned some of them already, such as fighting off chronic diseases, type 2 diabetes, hypertension. Bone loss is a very common one too among women. Heart diseases. We want to keep our body to its optimal health. And also we want to, if some of us are already diagnosed with certain health conditions, we want to be able to control and monitor them with a healthy diet and exercise. Okay? Also, if we don't eat properly, we won't have the energy to sustain us throughout the day. We will feel tired quicker. Sometimes we would think, oh, it's just a matter of getting older, and that's not necessarily the case. It's because that we are not eating properly at the proper times, at regular times every day, and we are not including physical activity to help build our muscles and strengthen our bones, and also to help increase our metabolism. Now we're going to go into the food guide pyramid. Have you ever heard of the food guide pyramid? Just raise your hands if you know what it is. Yes? The food pyramid is a tool that can be used to help you tailor how you eat. Okay, this, what we have here, is the older version of the food pyramid. Why it's called a pyramid? And it's obvious because of its shape, and it's in the form of building blocks. So the pyramid has 5 groups. Usually when I ask the children, how many groups the pyramid have? They say 5, they say 6, because they can see 6. However, the very tip of the pyramid is where you find the sugars and the oils, which you should use very little of. In the pyramid, it's broken down into 5 groups. And why is that? Is because each group has the foods in it are carrying something in common. For example, we have the bottom of the pyramid, which is the carbohydrates group. Do you know any other name for this group? Yes, sometimes we call it starch. And another name? It starts with a G. Grains, yes. So this group, we call it the grains group. We call it starch also. Some people may call it the breads group because it has breads, different types of breads in it. But it's not only limited to breads. You have pastas, you have corn, cake, potato can also fall in this group, corn can also fall in this group. And the reason being is that they all have a nutrient in common, which is called the carbohydrates. I mentioned it earlier because that's what we also call that group. And carbohydrates is a nutrient that breaks down in our body to give us energy. It's easily breaking down, even though we can get energy from other foods in the food group. It can be easily broken down in the body in order to give our body energy in order for it to function, our organs to function, and also for us to function throughout the day. That's why it's the largest group. That doesn't mean that now you have to eat more, because we're already eating too much of this group throughout the day. What we don't get enough of is the two groups above it, which is the fruits and the vegetables group. Okay, now, as mentioned before, fruits and vegetables are very rich in vitamins and minerals. We also have antioxidants. Anybody have a kind of idea what antioxidants are? Okay, grapes have antioxidants. Yes. So a lot of our foods have antioxidants in it, and antioxidants act as a, a soldier in our body. Okay, it helps to fight off other enemies that can damage our body. That's the best way I can put it. So it acts like a soldier. It acts in partnership with our immune system to help protect our body from free radicals and from us being sick too often. Okay, free radicals are components that attack our cells and try to damage our cells. And our antioxidants that we get from our food helps protect our body cells from that. Then we have the two groups above that is the milk group, which is also known as the dairy group. And in that group, we have which nutrient in common? This is an easy one, milk. What milk is good for? What is milk good for in our bodies? For bones. So if we want strong bones, we drink our milk, or we can eat cheese, yogurt. And there are other foods that we can find within the vegetables group that are high in that particular nutrient. What nutrient do you think you can find in the milk group? Calcium. Okay, calcium is the mineral that helps strengthen and maintain strong teeth and bones. Okay? So as children growing up, we want to make sure that the foods that we give them are high in calcium. If they are allergic to milk, there are milk substitutes or other foods that you can find to give you the calcium that your body needs. As we get older, we are not able to store the calcium in our bodies like we can when we were at a younger age. So what we do now is maintain the calcium stores that we've built over the years in our youth. Now, the challenge with that is that we don't always eat the right foods to maintain the calcium in our body, and we tend to also eat a lot of foods or do have lifestyles that pull the calcium from our body. So what we want to do now is to try to have a lifestyle change where we try to maintain the calcium stores in our body, because as we age, our calcium levels in our bones become lower, our bones become more brittle, and that's how older persons can easily break bones in their body. Just by a simple step, you go dancing and or you step bad down the stairs and you break a bone, or you happen to fall off a chair or the bed, you break a hip. It's because your bones are more brittle as you get older in age. Yeah?
Is that where vitamins come in?
That's where our minerals, vitamins also. Yes. Yes.
And what type of, can you give an example of cells that would strip the calcium from our bodies?
Smoking, drinking carbonated drinks that has phosphates in it. Pregnancy can do it also for women. At a certain stage during pregnancy, the child is developing and needs calcium to build their bones. So if you're not eating the proper foods that are high in calcium in order for the child to develop properly during pregnancy, they will pull the calcium stores from the mother's body. That's why it's important for mothers to, while pregnant, to get their teeth checked and make sure they are eating the proper foods, because the calcium also, when it's pulled from the body, it also makes your teeth brittle.
Besides milk, what are some examples of calcium in food?
You have dark leafy green vegetables that are high in calcium. Spinach is namely one of them. Any other questions? Okay. So that was our dairy group, and we have our meats group. Okay, so the meats group, most of the products in this group comes from animal. However, there are some products in this group that are not from animals, such as nuts, seeds, beans, dry beans, lentils, are also found in this group. Who can tell me why? Which nutrient can we find in this group that makes everything part of this group? Proteins, right. So we find proteins also not just from animal foods, but also from the nuts that we can eat. Also, you have good oils that are from those, but also from the beans and from the lentils that can fall in this food group. And protein is very important for our body because it helps with some of the chemical functions and metabolisms that occur in our body, but it's also important for repairing new cells in our body and for repairing damaged cells in our body. Okay, so you know when you get a cut on your hand and you see it heal over time, that's because you also need proteins to help heal those damaged cells and to repair the new ones that aren't able to be repaired. So at the very tip of the pyramid, as mentioned earlier, we have sugars and salt that fall in this, sugars and oils that fall in this group. And why it's at the very tip of the pyramid is because we don't need too much of these in our foods. If we use too much of these in our foods, in the different food groups while preparing them, makes it very unhealthy for us. So if we happen to do fried chicken or fried rice or fried Johnny cake, it's not as healthy if we were to bake those items. Or if we like to season our foods with salt, even though salt do not fall in this group, I tend to group it with these items because we don't need too much salt in our diet. Salt contributes to high blood pressure, hypertension. Okay, and we live in on an island where a lot of our people are suffering from hypertension. We see a lot of people that are suffering from high cholesterol or heart diseases. We have a lot of people that are suffering from diabetes. Now, not just because you're not eating something sweet doesn't mean you're not affecting your diabetes, but you also have to eat on time, and you can't overeat because of how the body breaks down the food. It affects your blood sugar levels. Okay, so these items affect certain functions within your body. If we tend to eat foods that are sugary, sweet, we love sweet, somebody has a sweet tooth, although we are not diabetic, we are putting a stress on our pancreas, which produces insulin. Okay, because now it's fighting to break down the glucose in our body. And if we don't use it as energy, it stores it in our body. So then our liver now has to work harder now to help store the glucose that's in our bloodstream. So you're putting stress on your organs to try to regulate its habitat, its environment. Okay? So this was the old food pyramid, and we have a new food pyramid. Now, I like the old food pyramid because it's building blocks. It speaks for itself. I can't call this a pyramid because it doesn't look like a pyramid, right? However, they changed it to make it more appealing to make it more appealing to its clients, its customers. So instead of building blocks, they decided to make it more colorful. And the orange column is the grains group. The green is the vegetables. The red is the fruits. The blue is the milk group, and the purple is the meats group, or the proteins group. You can see a very thin strip, which represents the tip of the pyramid, which is the oils and the sweets group. Although they didn't really indicate sweet in this part of it, sweet still falls in that category, in my opinion. Yes, the yellow line. Okay.
What's on the left, the steps?
You tell me, because that's my next question. What do you think the stairs represent? Yes, the stairs represent exercise or physical activity. So now they're not just trying to focus on eating healthy. We need to create a balance now with physical activity. Okay? So it's not just, okay, we have our portions, right? And so forth. But we go to the office, we sit down every day. Or we do a little something, a little more, have a more active job, and that's it for the day. We need to include physical activity or exercise in order to help immobilize our body, keep our heart functioning properly, and so forth, to maintain flexibility, to maintain agility in our bodies. We don't do enough physical activity here in St. Martin. I must say that for the years that I've been back, I've seen it increase. However, it's still not enough. We still need to do more in terms of physical activity. And not on an individual basis. I would like to encourage persons to do it as groups, as families, to help rebuild that family unit, because it seems to be a challenge, and we can see it within the schools. When I happen to go to the schools, it's a challenge because you can see that some of the children come to school and they're not having their breakfast because of lack of time, preparation, and so forth. So it reflects on other things, and we need to get back to basics in terms of doing things together as a family. Come up with ideas and activities that you can do once or twice a week during the week, once during the week or once during the weekends. Go to the beach, walk, swim, go to the boardwalk, do some walking. Find some areas within the communities nearby or other communities that you can go and do physical activities with the children. And the children would motivate you too to do some activities. They are adventurous. They will come up with ideas. Just join and go along with them and enjoy yourself. Find your youthful days again. Okay, I know sometimes it's difficult day in, day out because of work and responsibilities. We tend to forget about the fun times that we can have and spend with our children. Even though you may not be able to go out of your home, transportation purposes, or you feel that it's not safe, you can do certain things within your home too that can increase physical activities. Question? Anybody?
Based on the food pyramid, how would you say some of these foods affect our children? Or is there a particular food or type or category of foods that might affect our children in a different manner? School-age children? Or something that they should eat less of or more of?
Well, when it comes to eating, you always eat in moderation. You don't overeat one group just because you like it, because as I said earlier, you're getting nutrients from each and every food group that you won't get from a particular food item. A banana can give you good nutrients, but however, an apple won't have the same thing. So you will have to eat an apple. Or a pumpkin can give you vitamin A, but you wouldn't find it in another vegetable, spinach. Spinach gives you iron. So in that way, you eat the variety, you eat in moderation. However, I think when you're talking about not eating too much of something, it depends on how it's prepared and what type of food item it is. I always say, and you would see it through different literature and materials you may read, that to go for more fresh foods, more fresh, the more nutrients and healthier it is in comparison to processed foods. Processed foods tend to have a lot of preservatives in it and not of its natural state.
Can you give an example of processed food?
Processed foods, you have the cereals, cornflakes, crackers, cookies, ice cream, breads, anything that have been manipulated by man is processed foods. A good example too when you go shopping, and I'm going ahead of myself. When you go to the supermarket, you find most of your fresh foods in the outer perimeter of the supermarket. Have you ever noticed that? Especially when you go to the larger supermarkets, you see it that way. The fresher foods are set up in the outer perimeter of the supermarket. The more processed foods you will find on the inner part of the section of the supermarkets. Okay, all like the boxed foods or the canned foods or foods that are found in jars, those are processed foods.